back to another episode. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Kristen.
And if you're new here, we review, rant, rave, and deep dive into books.
Today we'll be reviewing Entwined.
It is quite entitled.
Entwined by, what the fuck? Heather Dixon Walworth.
The first half of our review will be just a basic summary of the book, our general rating, and then we'll deep dive into our hated and liked parts in our spoiler section, which we'll let you know in advance so we don't spoil anything for you.
If you want to follow along with us, our reading and review schedule will be linked in the description below.
Without further ado,
let's jump into it. Well, you guys, you weren't here for the first part of this. But we already did this, and now we're redoing it again because our audio wanted to take a shit on us.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an episode of ours if a book that we hated wasn't something that we had to re-record and talk about.
Every time a book we dislike ends up having to be a
that
redo.
I have to fucking talk about it again.
So sorry, but you are getting the shortened version of what we just discussed on our own.
Yeah, we had a whole conversation about it. All the laughs, the giggles, the jokes, just to ourselves.
We'll try to add a little bit sprinkled in here, but just know it's a watered down version because we don't know if it'll fall flat the second time around.
Yeah, I think we made a joke about it last time. Like, it's really hard to say the same joke and then laugh at the same joke. We're not actresses.
Yeah, genuinely, we cannot do it again.
No.
But we might just talk to you about it and move on very quickly. So if you don't think we find it funny, it's because we've already heard it.
Yeah. If you think we're sick and tired of this book, yeah, it's probably because it's true. Yeah.
So we're just going to get straight to the point on this one. This is definitely a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, which Crystal loves the dancing part. I have been the one to suggest this book, and it is not one of my favorite books. Let's just put it out there. I'm just wanting to have us read it because it is definitely a book I read as a fairy tale retelling back when I was younger. So that's why I picked this book.
Yes. So just to jump into a brief summary of the book, as Kristen said, it is a retelling of the fairy tale of the 12 Dancing Princesses.
Yeah.
And it follows generally like a main character, which is Azalea, and she's the like mother hen of this group of 11 other sisters. Their mother dies, and so they go into like a period of a year-long mourning where the windows are blacked out. They're dressed in black. They can't dance. They can't enjoy life at all. They just must be sad and miserable the entire time.
Yes, and also it kind of has a little bit of magic in it where the girls find a secret haven to dance their life away.
Yes, and so the story basically follows the like person that's in this haven that gives them permission to be there and sort of what his end game is with their end game. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
It's a good time.
It's not a good time.
Also, this is definitely a young adult fantasy, more so on the younger. I would say closer to middle grade school level of reading. There's not a whole lot of adult anything in this book, so just know that you're looking at young adult.
Yeah, though there is like mild gore that put a couple people off on Goodreads, so just know that if you can't handle any little like sprinkling of darkness, this is not the book for you.
Yeah, I know. It's very, very tiny.
It is very tiny, but apparently it's enough. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't feel like there is.
Whatever. Anyways, the rating of this book for me is a 2 out of 5. The only reason it gets that way, it gets up that high at all, is because of one of the characters that made me laugh a lot. Essentially, I hate this book. It's boring. I hate it even more now that I have to talk about it again. I don't like the main character. She's boring. She spends all of her time sort of like living perfectly in this box that was built for her, and she doesn't ever care to push boundaries. She has her one moment of shining glory where she saves the day at the end, and that's literally will be her life story for all of the events and parties. That is the only thing she will ever be able to tell anybody about herself because she's boring as fuck. Her sister Bramble is the POV that I want in this story. It's just annoying. I hate the main character. But yeah, that 2 out of 5.
I rated it a little higher. I rated it a 3, and that's rounding up. I wanted it more like a 2.5, 2.75, only because I do enjoy some of the characters and some of their bickering and bantering with each other. And there's some moments that I do enjoy throughout the book separately, not necessarily as a whole. So that's kind of why I rated it a little bit more. And it is probably the better retelling of a fairy tale that I've read during that time. Probably actually even now, because there's not a whole lot of fairy tale retellings that I enjoy. And they don't even have the darker aspect, even when you're talking about the villain story. So, I kind of rated it a little higher. And also 12 Dancing Princesses, I've never really read any of that stories in the fairy tale world. So this is actually new to me. But when I did read it back in the day, if I do remember when I first read it, it was boring. So even now it's still pretty boring, but at least it did a little bit more of a dabbling in the darker side of it.
A fingertip into the
Not much, but it's also very disappointing. Just FYI, if you're wanting to get more of the darker part of the story, it's very disappointing in that. So that's why it's on the lower end. I don't necessarily hate this book altogether as a whole. I do enjoy some things of it that kept me through the boring parts, but it wasn't like I hated it because of anything in particular. It was just it fell flat. It was lackluster. The magic was kind of dull. It wasn't there at all, and it was very boring. And of course, there was a lot of dancing in it, which, I mean, it's 12 Dancing Princesses. You would have to kind of expect that, but like you could have done this story without having to detail every description of the dancing in itself.
Yeah, I didn't have to hear about every dance.
Yeah, you could have just
every
went
curtsy.
over. Yeah, because the story in itself should be about the 12 Dancing Princesses.
Yeah,
not the dancing.
I know they dance. You don't need to prove it to me.
Yeah, we could have just glossed over it and continued on. But yeah, that's why my rating is the way.
And also, there's no spice, obviously, because this is a true young adult.
Yeah. But that's our ratings.
Yep, that's our... Oh, and Goodreads, I think, gave it a 3.75, which was very generous, in my opinion.
Very, very generous. It's not... I don't even think it's the 3 that I gave it. Like I said, that's being generous.
Yeah, begrudgingly giving it a higher point than it deserves. I also didn't provide any of the 1 point. Maybe I should have done the 5, so we could have heard, like, what people actually wanted about it.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I was so done with the book, I didn't really care.
I didn't even know people gave it 5.
Why you gave it a 5?
Yeah, I don't see this. If this is your 5, I'm worried for you.
Yeah.
I have some recommendations I could give you.
Yes.
So, FYI,
oh my God.
Yeah. let me rock your world.
Yeah, please just look at our catalog of what we've already read. Go find our 5s.
Yeah.
Jesus. What a sad life you live if that's a 5.
I mean, you'd have to be younger. You have to be really young to rate this a 5. Even then,
I hope for the sake of the 5s that they are younger.
Like
I almost said older.
Yeah.
Anyways, we could just jump now to our spoilers. I'm just gonna go through like 2.
Okay. Yeah, because then I'll say 2 that
yeah.
you didn't.
To be fair, I have a lot, and I went through a lot already, and I'm not gonna go through it again. So for a book that I really hated, I did have a good amount of likes. Let's see. I like the beginning where we meet the 12 princesses. You got like 11 of them hiding in a tree, and then the one sister's like, this is her first ball, and she's going and giving them shit. For some reason, I liked that.
That was funny.
Because I am a single child, so it's fun to witness the chaos of all that entails when you have a ton of siblings. Not just like one other one, but you've got like you have a fucking tribe with you. Like, I love the chaos of it, and that was present every time. Yeah. All 4 of them, all 12 of them were being crazy. I love when Lord Bradford comes to stop the tower clock, and then he gets pelted with a bunch of potatoes, even though this wasn't his idea. He didn't ask to come do this. He did this out of respect for the loss of their mother.
Yeah.
Bramble leads the charge on that. Let's see. I like also when the father finds that the girls have been secretly dancing. He's at the table and he's about to chastise them, and Bramble yells, "Run!" And all of the girls scatter.
Yeah.
And then she ends up like climbing up the stairs and yelling about being down with tyranny and autocracy and monarchy and all the other
aristocracy or some shit like that.
Yeah. Ocracies. Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
I liked all those parts. I'm not gonna say them again. So I'm gonna go on the very other, like the other parts of the story that we haven't mentioned. So my favorite part is when they introduce the keeper to the girls, and like he rips up a napkin in several little pieces and he blows it and it becomes snow and goes all over the dancing people in the party, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. I really wish more magic flowed through this book, particularly through the keeper. I was disappointed in everything after that, but that introduction alone was just wonderful. I loved Clover's bouts of fucking anger. Like, when she broke the tea set and she had to explain it to her sisters how she took a fire poker and bashed it all because it nudged her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she took the pieces and threw them in the river and just watched it go down. She's like, I think I drowned them. And I was like, oh my God, that's so funny. And then she had to repeat it to tell the king. And the king was like aghast with it, like, oh my God, this is my sweet little girl. Like, she's so kind and loving. And yeah, and so like that whole part with Clover cracks me up. I also really enjoyed, what is it? Well, we already talked about Mr. Bradford. Everything with Mr. Bradford was just great. The dinner, him being scared by Az when he falls down the stairs because she just like pops out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, anything with him is just fantastic. But pretty much that is everything that I loved about the book. Everything we just said was probably the best parts of the book.
Yeah.
We could highlight the book and give it to you, and you could just read that and
in like
feel
an
it.
hour,
Yeah,
maybe.
not even.
Yeah.
Not even. But yeah, that's practically. Oh, I do have one other part real quick that I want to throw in there because I forgot the last time we talked about it. Teddy's letter to the king.
Oh, yes.
How he wants to see Bramble, and he's like, he's like, I tried giving you my money, my everything, and you told me no. If you don't let me spend time with her, I'm gonna break all the windows in my mansion and drown myself in a bucket. I was like, this guy is so dramatic. I love it, but I hate him as a person.
That's some deep psychological fucking shit.
I honestly believe he's just being funny and sarcastic and witty, but because that's what he does most of the time. But I love, like, this guy's rich, mind you. So he'd have to go through every window in his mansion and break it and then physically drown himself in the bucket. I think that's funny. The visual of it just drove me crazy. It was funny. But yeah, that's really it.
And so we'll blow through the hated parts as well. I hated the fucking dancing. It was everywhere. It was nonstop. It was so cheesy. And it was like this. The worst part is like, I understand that they're dancing. So I have to, like, be fair in a sense because it is about 12 dancing princesses, but, like, damn.
Yeah.
And it was, like, the whole drama of this was that they couldn't dance. Like, I hated it. I just couldn't get behind it. It was so stupid.
I really wish they couldn't dance.
Shit. Like, for real. I also hated the names. I don't know how much she could have changed the names if the real dancing princesses were named as such in the fairy tale, but Goldenrod is a horrible fucking name.
Goldenrod is the dumbest name.
There's a Mr.
So
Pudding is like their butler or something. Like, come on, Mr. Pudding?
Come
on. I hate that the princesses are poor. Like, what the fuck is a story about princesses that are poor?
I don't know why that had to be so pivotal to the point of the story, but it was very pivotal. They made it a part of the story.
Yeah, like they're eating porridge. Oh, it's only special occasion they can eat the fucking swirly cinnamon bread. Like, what the fuck am I reading?
I forgot about that.
Their shoes are getting so tattered that they have their... What?
Yeah.
You're princesses. How are you
poor? Why couldn't they keep her magic fucking slippers so that they could...
I was thinking he was going to do that the whole time.
Me
and then
too.
the king came in and I was like, okay.
I forgot that he didn't. In my head, I always thought he did. Nope, he never magicked them slippers. It's like, just magic them fucking slippers.
That's the problem with this book is that he needed to be more of like trying to really like get her.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we want some slippers? Oh, you're looking beautiful today. Like,
I
missed all of that. I wanted him to try to seduce her. He never did it. That should be in my hated parts because, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
It is both of our hated parts.
Yeah. Another one, I hate the Viscount coming for Clover. It's fucking disgusting. I cannot believe what he said at the dinner table in front of the king. I don't care how old this book wants to pretend that she is. She's literally like fucking 13. And then at some point it says she's over 15 and I don't believe that for a second.
I think the author intended for him to be gross anyways because he said, I think the king kicked him out.
Yeah, the king does. Like, it's not taken as like, oh great, but then they ruin everything that the king does to act like this is gross when they pair her with Fairweather. Anyways, they're fucking dancing.
To be fair though, the king did not want that. He beat the shit out of him, fired him, and.
But I'm supposed to be okay with it because like she's one of the princesses, and like you're kind of in that club of like, oh my god, she found love, and like, oh my god, no, he's gross. He's like, I don't. He maybe he's 20. In my head, he's like 50. He's graying and he's gold because he's like some old man on Parliament. It's just disgusting. I don't even care if he's like, 20. Yeah, she's like mid-20s, 12, 13, 14.
Well, I want to say when they finally gave him the opportunity to be together, it was years down the road. But even then, when he was first courting her and he asked her to run away with him, she must have been like 14, 15.
Yes.
And it wasn't until, like, the king, like, years later, I would say 2-3 years later, the king finally allowed them to be together. But it was just, like...
But still, like, clearly they were, like, secretly doing stuff anyway. So
like,
they
were.
You're giving me opinions that he's, like, grooming her this entire time.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
No, it was really fucking weird. Yeah, like, even if she did, because she was the one who was forcefully going at him, he still should have been like, whoa, you know?
Because she's like 13.
Yeah, because she was forcefully going at him. Like, if you read the story,
Yeah.
like, she was... But, like, it's his responsibility as an adult to be like, girl...
Yeah, like, first of all, to not be attracted to
To a
somebody
13-year-old.
so young.
Yeah, because he's like, run away with me, like, later down the road. It's like, fuck, dude, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, and I really hate the scene where Azalea finds out that it's her because she's like, this mysterious woman is talking to Fairy Mother, and I like already off the bat, you're like, it's one of your fucking sisters. What do you mean? Some mysterious woman, you don't recognize her voice?
Yeah.
I know it's a sister, and I can't even hear her.
You can even just look at the boots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was so obvious that it was at least one of her sisters.
But overall, the absolute hate of this book is that there is a lot of really good elements and like a skeleton that's here, but all of the meat, the bones, all of it is just fucking trash. We spend a whole lot of time caring about these like gentlemen and like boiling down these girls to basically caring about boys and dancing. That's these girls in a nutshell. Even if you have these like springs of personality, like Bramble's like a much better character than I think most of them. Clover too.
Yeah.
They still just boil down to their essence of being about boys and dancing.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'm not a fan.
I was very discouraged about the keeper and the magic. Like, I felt like it fell flat with that. It was such of a lackluster of a story when there could have been so great, like him killing his love that was the other king's daughter or the general's daughter, and then drinking her blood for an oath. Like, why couldn't we have that? Why couldn't we have more of that story? Mm-hmm. I don't understand why that couldn't have been there for us to like go into and have some kind of meat to the story. And if I feel like that's even would have had happened, it would have made the story so much better. It probably would have raised it a whole point, or maybe even half a point, something. It would have at least created some kind of substance to the
like
story.
Like a real story. Because you like drop this cool little nugget on us, and then that's it.
It fell flat, and I was super upset when finally the keeper comes from underneath the basement into the upstairs. Like, he had no magical power other than to make himself look like Azalea. And like, that's another thing too. Like, I love that he was able to keep little trinkets of people and turn into them.
Yes.
But it's like, he didn't fucking do anything else.
No.
Like, that's why they call me the keeper. Great, sure, fucking wonderful. But like, what else are we doing with this?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that the mansion magically came back to life and all this power, but like you yourself have none? Like, why if that's all the magic you had left, why wouldn't you use it for one great fucking, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see the ending where the keeper ended up keeping the girls and force them to dance until their feet fell off.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, and then had the king run in and try and save him, but he marionettes these girls as like
soldiers and
yes.
shit. Yeah, that was way fucking cooler.
Because I think, in my opinion, I want to say that's like the essence of the 12 Dancing Princesses. They danced till they almost died.
Oh, I didn't get any of that in this.
I think that's, and I would have liked that to have been where the keeper
and like
fell in place.
He gets power over Azalea to get the girls because he's seduced her the whole time, and that's how.
And the more they dance, the more power he gets.
Yes,
like
that would have been fucking cooler.
See, like, we should just write our own.
We should. Yeah, this is trash.
And I thought that's where the story was gonna go. Was that the more they danced, the more power he got, or something became, because that's where it came across, and like it never got that, and I was so disappointed.
Ooh, and that would have made more sense for why he gave them shoes. Yeah. Well, he didn't give them shoes, but why he should have given them shoes.
Why there was a dancing pavilion? Why is the keeper a dancer anyways? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, he created this dance that's all he says. Yeah, I've created it, and I'm the best at it.
Like,
yeah, it's stupid.
So much fucking
and then he wants
left
to
out.
dance and doesn't want to dance.
Yeah.
He's on the roof like a spider. I don't know.
Yeah, there's such weird shit going on, and it didn't even make sense.
Also, you have this cool ass pavilion, and all these girls do is dance. Not a one day are they like, let's explore a little bit this like magical realm that we've never seen. No, we're just here to dance.
So bad.
Boring. Stupid. What am I reading? Kristen.
I told you it was going to be bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. I hated and loved people. I hated everybody but Bramble. And Clover. Clover is there too.
That's okay. We still got another read where you're going to hate it even more.
Great. I'm not excited for that. But before that, we will do Mad Apple, which will be our next episode. That is a pick for me. I don't really remember much about it other than I liked it, and there's a lot of herbalism in it. I think there's like this girl and her mom that are like out in the wilderness doing weird stuff. I don't know. That's all I remember from this book, but it stayed with me for whatever reason.
I'm really excited to read it though.
Me too. Hopefully it's good. Because I need because Ophelia was pretty good. So good, bad, and then
yeah, really tragically bad.
And then wait for February. So we'll hopefully go down with Kristen, but then we'll come back up with that February reads.
I heard that the book that I've picked in February that was supposed to be really good, but it's probably gonna be I don't know if it's a reverse harem. I don't know, but anyways, I'm really excited for those books too.
Kristen's really trying to bring me down this reverse harem
hey, listen,
road.
I've read them, and now I can't stop reading them.
Oh my god, she tried to secret me into it with Blood and Ash.
Hey, I didn't know though. That I did not fucking know, and that's not a reverse harem. That's just a throuple. But I didn't.
It's like testing the water.
I didn't know. I was just like, am I reading? What am I reading? Oh, I kind of like it now. So
now she's into it. Now it's her.
Well, I would say into it. I'm dipping my toes in it. I'm starting to like it a little bit more. I'm starting to get used to it. I'm starting to get desensitized.
Wait till February when we desensitize ourselves to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I really can't wait for those reads. That's what I'm the most excited for. But, whatever. We'll get through.
I'm a little fucking scared, to be honest. But we'll see.
I'm making it's a bed of my own making, though, for these 2 crap books Kristen's giving me to read.
She asked for it. I just delivered.
Yeah. I will always now listen to Kristen when she tells me a book is shit. I'll be like, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about it. It's shit. Absolutely. But anyway, so we will see you guys here next episode for Mad Apple. We are on all the socials too. Instagram. I'm sorry. Instagram, Spotify, Amazon Music. You know where to find us.
You'll find us somewhere. But don't forget, we're here on Friday at 5 p.m. at Pacific Central Time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye.